It's the 1990s, and I'm in my small San Francisco apartment. I quickly tear off the cellophane from the CD that I just got from my music club as I listen to the title track, "A Thousand Cranes" by the new band Hiroshima. I am deeply moved. Show her just how much you care, with a love that's all we all share. Send her 1,000 cranes. Send her 1,000 cranes. The story is about Sadako Sasaki, the child who, together with paper cranes, became the symbol of the day that the American forces dropped the first of 2 bombs on Hiroshima. It was August 6th, 1945, shortly before 8:15. Little 2-year-old Sadako was probably puttering about in her house happily on a day that was 79 degrees. Suddenly, the temperature rushed to 10,000 degrees. She was blasted out the window. Her mother rushed out and found her miraculously alive. But as they fled, they were rained upon by the black rain of radioactive ash and dust. She survived to become an energetic schoolgirl who was known never to lose a race. Others were not so fortunate. On that day alone, 70,000 people instantly perished. 10 years later, she, like tens of thousands of other people, began to show the symptoms of radioactive poisoning. She was checked into a hospital and given 6 months to live. At that point, she took up the practice of folding paper cranes because it was said that if you folded 1,000, your wish would come true. She wished for peace. And as the story has it, as she folded, she would say, "I write peace upon your wings, and then you will fly across the world." She died that October. A year later, on the other side of the world, as a 4-year-old, I was checked into a hospital, also with the symptoms of cancer, and also given 6 months to live. A kind gentleman walked into my hospital room. He was short, he was wearing horn-rimmed glasses, he had cheerful eyes and a lovely smile. I was in America, but I still didn't know English. He paused before approaching my bed, reached into his impeccable white coat pocket, and pulled out a tiny object, a white paper crane. He put it in his palm as if it had just alighted on a lake, then looked at me sweetly and put it in my hand. No words were necessary. A bond was forged. That he was there was a testament to the endurance of people in World War II. When Pearl Harbor was bombed, he had been a medical student. He was interned under Executive Order 9066. After the war, he was able to go to medical school, and on its completion, joined the Atomic Energy Commission in Hiroshima. I can only imagine the conflict he must have felt when his parents, who were Japanese immigrants, though he was born in the United States, had come from that very country. And there he was, an American citizen, doing research on the harm that was caused by the nuclear bombing. But some good did come from that event, because it allowed the unprecedented opportunity of exploring previously unaccepted or unexplored treatments. And so it was that, among other things, there was the rediscovery of an obscure treating properties of the vinca plant that had first been documented in the 12th century by the healer Hildegard von Bingen. When the atomic energy finished its studies, Dr. Suto ended up becoming part of the very hospital that short time later, would become the place where I spent most of my childhood. He was a pediatric oncologist. One day, when I was just admitted, he walked into my hospital room, and before approaching my bed, he reached into his pocket and pulled out that crane. Later, he had to give my mother this suggestion. There's nothing else we can do, but there is one possibility. It's called vincristine. We studied it in Japan. It may be too late for your daughter, but it will pave the path for other children after her. As you can see, my mother consented. Dr. Suto gave me a number of pages of 6 by 6 inch colorful patterned origami sheets, but I never mastered the ability to make a paper crane like he did. But I will never forget him, and I will never forget the debt that I owe to the courageous people of Hiroshima. Sadako Sakaki's wish for peace did not come true. We are still struggling to find peace in our world. And when I listen to 1,000 Cranes, I still well up in tears that we have the ability to unlock the mysteries of nature for extraordinary good and yet use it to cause horrendous harm. But as long as there is a bit of hope, humanity can hold to the promise of healing, as long as there is a child anywhere in the world that will clasp the wings of hope in their tiny hand. Send them 1,000 cranes. Send them 1,000